Hey everybody, Pejman Gadimi back with another exotic car hacks video, and today we are looking at what is the better driver's car. You previously saw in my other videos when I compared the GT3RS to the Performante, both coupe and spider, and the GT3RS came back as the better bang for the buck. But the Performante came back as the better driver's car, which was pretty interesting for me to see an actual Lamborghini take a driver's car title over a Porsche, which was kind of bizarre. Now today, however, we are looking at the difference between the GT3RS 0.2 and my new 600LT full track edition with, of course, its cool roots scoop. Now, there is still, just to be clear, over a $100,000 difference between these two cars. Even more, actually, almost a $140,000 difference from an MSRP standpoint, which makes the LT significantly more expensive, even more expensive than the Performante Spider. So the question is it a better car? So, originally when I said with the GT3RS is you're getting a lot for your money. And with the LT, you're also getting a lot for your money, but in a completely different way. Actually, in a funny way, I would even compare the LT more to an Aventador with the stunt factor and the driver side of things, something that Lamborghini missed with the Aventador, but not so much with, of course, the Performante. So on the surface, again, the GT3RS continues to impress with an incredible driving experience, but the GT3RS is not without its flaws. I've now owned the car for about 1,500 miles, and I've owned it, driven it, and enjoyed it, and it does have a couple of things that do get quite irritating. First off, while it is incredibly well put together, it still rattles in a couple of places, and it squeals because the brakes squeal. And while Porsche will insist that ceramic brakes squeal, brakes don't squeal, brakes don't squeal. None of the other cars I have with ceramic brakes squeal. So there is no reason why Porsche couldn't have fixed this very small issue, and it does get irritating. Most of us don't drive our GT3RSs every day, all day on the track. Most of us drive these cars across in different places and on the track. So as a result of that, it becomes quite annoying to have a $250,000 car that squeals like a bus on an ongoing basis. The other thing is it is extremely unusable, unlike the 911 Turbo, in the rain, which most McLarens are also unusable, so really nothing there. But in general, the GT3RS, while beautiful in design and truly amazing, the fit and finish and quality just seems to really not be on par with what I've come to expect from a $250,000 car, but definitely on par with a great car, just not a $250,000 car. Now, on the other hand, with the LT, you're getting a lot of art, and this is something that really is missing with the Porsche, is you're getting a lot of art, and I want to show you this briefly. Come over here. I want to show you how with this car, what you're getting is not only the track aspect of it, but you're getting all of this incredible carbon fiber. You're getting a crazy roof scoop. You're getting exhaust on the back end of the car instead of in the back of the car. And then you're also getting, again, all of this art kind of thing following through, just like an incredible painting. And this is the thing with the 600LTs. You're getting both that state of beauty, including the state of driving. Now, there is a little bit of a difference from a usability standpoint in both cars. The GT3RS is more usable for a couple of reasons. First off, the Mclaren controls are very annoying still, all of them being found in the control unit instead of with buttons, which does get irritating over time. But this is the big difference, I think, between the two cars. Both of these cars are sporting a set of race seats. And so in this car, you'll find the Senna seats, which are almost $30,000, and you will find this incredibly and very comfortable but bizarre shape of seat. This is excellent in the sense of comfort and usability, except when you have to get in and out. I'm not that fat, and I still can't get in and out comfortably. So this is a very difficult car, even if you have to move it for a moment to do anything with, because it continues to make the driving very specific for the track. One of the other complaints with the 600LT as a whole is that the price point is very heavy. You're starting to go into that mid-range of like 400 or 500K cars, which are going to be like the 720S, and soon McLaren is going to come out with a 750LT or something of that range, which is going to be the new 720S LT version. So, if you think about that and you think where this car is priced, this is a very high-priced car for what it is, and it just seems to really need to be bought much cheaper. Like currently, as of July 2019, these cars are now going for over $60,000 off of sticker. This having a very high sticker of almost 370 grand, making it still a 300K car. but the majority of these can now be bought in the mid 200s without all the carbon, without the roof scoop and stuff. But still, I think a lot of car for the money once you hit that $250,000, but not so much car for the money once you're starting to hit that $300,000 range. But here's the kicker though, this car is only good as a fully loaded carbon car, because I feel like if it's not, there really isn't much of a difference between this car or a 570S. And you've seen in my previous videos that I had the 570S, and it was quite engaging, and it was quite a good car, especially when modified. So is the 600LT worth the 150K premium over the 570S? Not really. I don't think quite yet. And while the innovation is cool, cool factor is to the roof, beauty is to the roof, it's still lacking that 150K it factor. And so for that reason, I still think the GT3RS still makes the better bang for the buck, despite the fact that yes, it is still not as quality of a product from the design standpoint as the 600LT, but the 600LT and the Performante still create a better driver's car, which leads me to kind of this basic conclusion. If you're going to be in the market for a driver's car, you now have to consider that while 10 years ago you may not have had a lot of options and there was one segment of driver's cars, there is now a segment of hyper driver's cars, which are more expensive 300K up driver's cars like the Performante or the 600LT that do have a lot of clout for what they are and do make sense to buy. And so in short, the GT3RS 0.2 is still a better driver's car than the 600LT when it comes to the idea of what you're getting for what you're paying. However, the 600LT is still the better driver's car between the two. So again, same comparison we had with the Performante. It seems like the GT3RS simply wins on the basis of value, not on the basis of quality. However, if I had to compare the 600LT to the Performante, I would tell you that I think in that regards, the game gets a little bit more interesting, because now it becomes a value of, you know, driver's experience versus design and driver's experience. And I think that's where the 600LT shines the most. So if you do have a budget of over 250K, then I think the 600LT makes sense. If you have a budget of under 250K, then I think the GT3RS makes more sense. So there you have it, guys. A brief look at what is the better driver's car between my new 600LT and GT3RS. Now, a lot more reviews coming up on the 600LT because it just got in, so we haven't even had time to modify it or do anything to it. But that is going to be coming up soon, so expect more YouTube videos on the 600LT, what makes it cool, and specifically this 1 of 25 spec with the... Look at this. We're having like dinosaurs here. First we had a bobcat, now we have a dinosaur. I'm telling you, this is like brutal. I'm gonna get killed by some animal one day, like maybe in the middle of a video. Look at that, look at that lizard, it's like huge. All right, so after this brief lizard attack, we are now back, and the better driver car, as I was saying, is ultimately the 600LT, but it just can't be justifiable with a 350K price tag. And so for that reason, again, the GT3RS remains the better, more affordable bang for the buck when it comes to driver's cars, because the significant difference between the two isn't as much. Now, there is one other thing that's pretty incredible about the GT3RS, is how much people love that car. There is a negative stigma to every Ferrari and Lamborghini I've ever owned, but there just isn't one to McLaren and Porsche. And this is where it gets a little bit more interesting between the two cars, because the Performante versus the GT3RS created the same kind of inconsistency with people hating on the Lamborghini just because it is a Lamborghini, on the other hand loving the Porsche because it is a Porsche. However, here, when both cars are just loved the same by a lot of enthusiasts out there, including, you know, both guys and girls, then it just becomes kind of a much more even playing field when it comes to people perception. And the perception is ultimately this is like a P1 in a very small, much more affordable package, and this is just another 911. And so for that reason, I think the 600LT is once again the better driver's car. So one of the things you want to do if you want to learn more about how to get in and out of exotics and how it is that I'm able to switch so many cars, always owning them, never renting them, never leasing them, never borrowing them, then you can go ahead and click the link in the bio to learn more about how you can afford your first exotic in the next 90 days. And also, just remember at the end of the day that it's about understanding the finances behind these cars. It's not just about buying them and just driving them and just losing all the money, but instead it's about buying them, getting rid of them in the right time, and ultimately being able to drive them completely free and in many cases for a profit. Subscribe to this channel, click the like button, let me know which one you think is a better driver's car. Would you take the Miami Blue GT3RS 0.2 or would you take the 600LT with the roof scoop? Both cars are special, both cars are incredible, but again, the choice is yours. So click the subscribe button, click the like button, and I'll catch you on another video next time.